Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be here with you today. Waving to Phyllis, who had to take off early. Hey, Philippa. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Kat. Oh, you almost missed it because your brain thought it was Tuesday. Yeah, things have been, days of the week are all running together for me too. I don't know how long my voice will last today. It's very strange. I had a endoscopy procedure on Friday, and in the past, it's not caused anything, but this time I'm definitely having some vocal issues. So I don't know if something got scraped. I've got my warm water and I've been hydrating like crazy. So we'll see if I can last the hour, and if not, it is what it is. Let me switch my cameras around. I know you're surprised. I thought I would do something else other than French knots, but I'm really not 100% here. So it's French knots at ear. And oh, yes, we had our time change. So for Philippa, it's finally an hour later and she doesn't have to get up so early. Bless her heart. She's in New Zealand and she would get up very early to be with us. Let's see. I do not have you guys in the frame. Let's see. Where is I'll come up over here. Kat said, I'm hard at work getting Etsy and Square site listings ready using Canva to create mock-ups for art print, stickers, and magnets. You are on a roll. I see there's a shadow. I guess the lighting's not as good today. I'm sorry. We've got plastic up over all the windows because last week they did the first coat of stucco, and so they covered all our brand new windows and screens to keep everything nice and clean. And hopefully Friday, they're going to come do the final coat of stucco and we can take the plastic off because I miss the windows and it's been raining all day and I don't get to enjoy. I mean, we have windows free on this side because there's no stucco here. Sue said, yes, you sound under the weather. Yeah, I don't feel bad. Hey, Joanne. And actually, my voice is a little bit better. I feel okay. It's just my voice is really weird. So I'm hoping, I've been literally drinking nonstop. It's been medical month. I went and had my mammogram this morning. So had to drive on the freeway in the rain. I don't like that. So other than that time in the car, I've just been drinking warm water. And hopefully they had to put me in a different position this time because last time they put me on my left side and that's my bad shoulder. And I was in pain for like 6 weeks afterwards. So it might have been just a different position, but otherwise I feel fine. I'm just sounding weird and a little bit congested. But my creative brain is starting to wake up, and that's good because I do have a show in June and I would like to have, well, I'm shooting for 10 new pieces. I don't know whether I'll get 10 new wildscapes done, but that's what I'm working towards. Kat said, my throat took a few weeks to recover after my hospital scare. I was hoarse due to numerous endoscopies plus being intubated. I feel for you. Yeah, it's just weird that, I was thinking it was going to be like the last time, my husband said, do you want a Jamba Juice? I'm like, no, I feel fine. And then once all the happy juice wore off, yeah, I feel okay. It just sounds strange. But if you saw my post on Instagram or on Facebook, or possibly, I think I put it on my YouTube post. I'm trying to post all the places. I figured out how many canvases I had in the different sizes. I've got 12 by 12, I've got some 10 by 20, and then I've got some 16 by 20. I think I even have one or two 18 by 24s. And so I laid out masking tape to figure out the sizes on my island. And then I have leftover pieces, so when I do the French knots here with you guys and kind of trying to see if I can maybe piece one together that way, I'm probably going to take my white one off the big stand that I have behind me here and put one of the green ones on it, because it's okay if I get a white one done, but I don't know that I necessarily want to show the white ones there. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still figuring things out. Yeah, the light is really weird because it's just completely there is no sun. It's just clouds and rain today, which is good. We need the rain. And that means the stucco dries slower, which I guess is good for the stucco, fewer cracks and things. But I'm excited. We're like hitting the home stretch on things. after the final coat of stucco next week, I think the guys will start on the deck, which is awesome because they've got the decking to do. They've got part of a fence to do. They've got the deck outside my studio to do, and then a little like pergola thing outside the master bedroom. So yeah, there's lots of things still ahead, but I can see the finish line. Kat has been posting. If you don't follow her, you might want to go check out on Facebook or Instagram. She's been posting the way she puts her beautiful terrariums together, and she is getting ready to open her shop, which she will share with us when she gets it done. But they are very cute, and you're doing your dirt differently than I am, so it's cool to see how you did yours. Very much look like real plants in their little plantscapes. So what else is everybody else working on? Sue said the remaining projects sound less intrusive on your living space. Yeah, I mean, there'll be a lot of hammering and sawing, but and it's close to the house, but it's not on the walls and it's not overhead, which is good. Kat says, you're too sweet. Thanks for the shout out. Oh, launch is set for November 14th. Awesome. Watch this space. Make sure you announce it in the Facebook group. Hey, Barb. She says hello to everybody in the chat. Am I recovered from open studios? I think so. It felt good to get everything cleaned out of the house. We have a corner of the garage that's designated for that. I still haven't undone stuff like I hidden baskets and things. So there's still that, but I think that has to do with all the construction stuff. It's kind of like, we feel like we just moved in some ways. Oh, cool. Barb says, I think I'm going to start Elizabeth Den's 52-week circle challenge, a stitching challenge on a small piece each week. If those of you want to see some of what Barb's talking about in the Facebook group, Elizabeth posts every week what she's done and a link to the tutorials, stitch along kind of thing. And she's got quite a commitment to her challenge. I really admire the way she sticks with it. I think it's a really cool idea. Circles don't, I did one little, it must have stopped raining. All the birds are out pecking through the ground out front. Circle, I did a little circle just because book. And I was like, no, circles don't do it for me. Hearts don't do it for me. Greens evidently do it for me. Yeah, you can go, if you go to the group and just hit her name, you can see all her posts that she's done in there. She just posted one. I think she posted them on Wednesday or maybe Tuesday, one of those 2 days. But she might have posted them with Kat's reminder about work in progress stuff. Hello to all the lurkers out there. I see people there in the background, and we always appreciate. Sue said, oh, I found Amy McNee's book, We Need Your Art, and have begun the 2-week reset she offers in it. Ooh, that sounds like a good one. Amy McNee has a book called We Need Your Art. I think I've seen that flash across my Amazon screen, so I will have to check that one out. Let us know what you think. Philippa says she's waiting on another truckload of firewood. We found it's cheaper to heat our hot water with a wet back instead of electricity. Plus it heats the house. Well, that's nice. That's like a win-win. We have been enjoying the fact that the house stays warmer than it has been in the past because of, all the stuff that we've done, the windows not letting all the cold in. Although we have to wet the stucco. Well, not today, but we have to keep the stucco wet as it dries. They say if it dries slowly, it's better. And as it evaporates, it does get cold. I'm going to put this up on the screen so anybody else that wants to see. It's all text, so I thought it would be safe for me to read. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. To read on any further, I'll have to wear my mask. Aw, Sue, that stinks. I'm sorry for you because I know, gosh, not being able to read those things. It's all text, huh? Barb says, I don't know what a wetback is, Philippa. Also, by the way, YouTube doesn't like that word altogether. Oh, yeah, it's probably looking at it as something negative. It makes me think of something like a radiator fire. I don't know. So, Philippa, if you feel up to typing, we would love to know what that is. Something that heats her house, heats her water, and heats her house. That's pretty cool. But boy, it's a lot of firewood to deal with. Oh, it's a heating device inside the firebox with pipes to the tank. Oh, very cool. I have not heard of something like that, but that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. All right, I'm just gonna finish this guy. Oh, maybe there's not enough. Yeah, very useful, doesn't it? I agree. Usually made of brass. Ooh, cool. I wonder if that's something that they do here in the US. Hello, Josie. Are you new here? Welcome. If so, let us know where you're located and what it is you like to do. It looks like this angle's not really good either, is it? I don't know. Whoops. Well, it's a familiar face for Barbara. That's cool. I love it when people cross over. Yeah, I couldn't get the lighting right today at all, so I just decided that's it. Sue said, I'll try putting on my N95 mask the next time I pick it up and see if that helps. Yeah, Barb, with Sue's sensitivities to smells, sometimes the ink in the books, well, it sounds like most times the inks in the books are really, oh, you're in Italy. Lovely. Yeah, the inks in the books have scents associated with them, and they're not good for people that have sensitivities. Are you working on anything in particular right now? Yeah, I've got the fragrance allergy too, Barb. And it's very frustrating. I don't go to malls anymore, but when I did, I used to have to walk really fast past the candle stores. Yeah. Tally is thrilled. There was a break in the rain and she gets to go out for a walk. I mean, she went out for a walk this morning in the pouring rain, but it's much nicer for us if it's not pouring. Now, this yarn is being stubborn. Okay, so as long as my voice sounds weird, but it's not hurting, so I guess that's a good thing. More hydration. I'm looking forward to Friday. Because tomorrow is more driving for more medical stuff. Barb says, I love books, but I've gotten so spoiled by being able to, change the type size and face when I'm reading A Library to Go. Yeah, I love that about, I read on the Kindle app on my iPad, and being able to make the type larger really makes a big difference. Sue said, I have to have someone else open the packages to protect me from any fragrance or particulates that might be released. Ugh. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Michelle said, need to start a new piece again. Haven't worked on anything in about 4 days, but I did get some new green soft layered yarn. Ooh. I was so thrilled the other day. I don't have it handy here, but on eBay, I found a favorite yarn of mine that I love to get in green, and it's discontinued. So I'm always looking for it in green. And I didn't know they had it in brown. So I was able to grab 6 skeins in brown. I was so excited. Philippa said, yeah, Barb, the algorithm needs some more education regarding certain words. Yeah, it's a very negative word here in the States. Barb said, wow, Sue, that's big. And Sue said, yeah, it's majorly annoying. I bet. Well, now that winter is here and the rains are starting, I am super glad of the new overhangs we have because our packages, as long as they remember to bring them up to the house, now will be protected instead of sitting out in the rain. Yesterday, I did a little bit of stuff out in the yard, kind of figuring out what's going to go where. I put a few cuttings in the ground and ready for the rain today. And I just can't wait until the weekend. And because we have more rain coming next week, I'm going to do a lot of propagating of cuttings. A lot of the plants in my yard just respond really well to me just cutting off a chunk and sticking them in the ground. So that's what I'm going to do. In the front yard, when the guys are done with everything and they have space in the driveway, I'm going to have them break up more cement in the driveway. Our driveway can get like 7 or 8 cars in it. We do not need that much space for cars. So I want more space for plants. Because, why not? Dirt is better than cement. Barb said, people up here, Humboldt County, California, are pretty good about not wearing fragranced products. That's my big problem. Plus going shopping. Have to avoid the detergent aisle. Yes, that's really bad. That was very hard with open studios. There were a few people. Actually, it's the men that are the worst. They come in wearing really heavy cologne, and some of them, I just had to leave the room. I couldn't stand next to them and talk to them because the cologne was so strong. Philippa said, I've seen the word used in American novels, but here it is a water heater. Sue said, I haven't been in a store in years. I don't go into, the only stores I go into are thrift stores. I am so spoiled that my husband loves to do the grocery shopping for us. And then I buy most of my stuff online. Wow, we have a small group today. Sue said, yeah, men are the worst offenders. And some of the older women, I agree, lots of perfume. Barb said, Philippa, here in the U.S., it is a slang word for immigrants who come across the river from Mexico. Yeah. So has anybody got big plans, or U.S. people have any big plans for Thanksgiving? Are you guys starting to think about that yet? Joanne said that old smell in thrift stores doesn't bother you. Sometimes it does, and then I just can't go in those aisles. And if I go through the clothes, the detergent that they use can get to me. So sometimes I can't be in there, but I never know until I go in. Luckily, if I go in and see a problem and then I leave, it doesn't linger with me. Sue said, I started a new scroll for the 2-week reset project. I also have a quilt top in progress. Oh, that's good. So you are feeling the need to, create, which is nice. Joanne, what are you working on lately? Are you doing some Christmas projects? Barb says, if I have to be in a group with people who use fragrances, I just tell them and ask them not to. Our church has a stated policy against fragrances. That's really smart because there are a lot of people that have the issue. It's not that rare. Kat says, I almost always do grocery orders with either delivery or curbside pickup. I have for years. It conserves energy. Yeah. Barb says, I can scarcely buy things in thrift stores. I do better when Linda gets something and wears it a while and then gives it to me. Usually by then it's pretty clear. Oh, wow. Sue said, nice that you and Linda can wear the same clothes, Barbara. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, if something's really bad, I'll have to leave it in the garage for a while. If it's clothing or fabric, that goes straight to the washing machine. I love starting a project with French knots because I don't have to think about what goes next, that the French knot has to go in a certain place. So it's just such a good place to know I need a lot of hoops about this size filled with French knots. That's all I'm thinking about. Barb says, I'll leave things hung out under the eaves for a week or two to clear out. Smart. What frustrates me is fibers, because it's really hard to get the smell out of the fibers, especially there's I can't remember the brand name, but I had ordered it online from a shop I'd bought from before, and 3 of the skeins of this particular brand, and I can't use the yarn because I cannot get the smell out. I put them in the charcoal, baking soda. Wait a minute, I missed. Joanne said she's fussy cutting. Well, I didn't see it. Joanne said she's fussy cutting lace somewhere. Are you creating lace out of cutting fabric? Cutting lace off of fabric over old clothes? I used to do that. I used to love to buy the clothes to get the lace. Joanne says, I'm not that smart, Barbara. I have very little lace left. Luckily, French knots, you don't really have to worry about them coming out. Sue said, what a shame about the fibers. I read somewhere to use coffee to remove odors in a container with the fibers. Oh, I might try that. They're still sitting out in the garage. I mean, it's not like I don't have anything to play with, right? Let's see. Just come right up here in the middle. I'm trying to work my way through yarns that I only have like one of, because I'm eventually will reduce my palette to the greens that I know I can consistently get from the dyers that I buy from on a regular basis. Because I'm very frustrated. There are a couple yarns that I absolutely loved and I wanted to get more of, and they're not selling anymore. They're not working at that anymore. Joanne said, I should have said that I'm fussy cutting appliques. I just made a big knot on the back. Let's see if I can get this undone. I, of course, cut my yarn super long, so that always creates the potential for an issue. There we go. Not bad. Joanne said I should have said that I'm fussy cutting appliques. All right, let's see. Oh, I turned this around, so now I have it in 2 places. Let's just finish this one off. Michelle said, Sue, I hear coffee beans will neutralize the air. Well, that's interesting. When we get our garage back, right now the garage is buried under so much dust from the wood and the cement and it's filthy. And I would say half the garage is filled with their tools. Can't wait until we get out there too. Barbara's going to switch to the living room and my iPad. Nap time is calling to me. Well, if we don't hear from you, we'll understand why. Joanne said, I have several pairs of vintage baby shoes that I'm altering. Oh, how cute. With all your lace and beads. Josie's also slow stitching a scroll. It's just so mesmerizing, right? Just needle and thread. pull it up, make a stitch, pull it through. It's so soothing, and if your brain is on fire and going 900 miles an hour and you can't concentrate on anything, I pick up a needle and thread, and it just, it centers me back into, okay, what's ahead? What do I need to be thinking about? What do I need to be planning for? Josie, is your scroll on any kind of a theme, or are you just sort of doing whatever makes you happy in the moment? Oh, I almost made a big knot back there again. And this one, I think is going to be, I'm going to use this same yarn across all of this. And then this is what I have left of it. So I should have enough to do 2 of these. Joanne said, the way you feel about making French knots is how I feel about fussy cutting. I can understand that, because when I was working with paper, that's exactly the way it made me feel to sit and fussy cut. Sue said, will you be having guests for Thanksgiving, Susan, or going to the other family for the day? I hope that we're going to be able to host Thanksgiving. That's what we would like to do. If we can host Thanksgiving and the in-laws can host Christmas, I need to talk to the carpenter, because I want him to make me an extension for our card tables that we use. We have 2 card tables, and I would like them to be just a little bit wider and a little bit longer. So I'm going to ask him just to cut some plywood to fit on top of it with like a little brace on each side so it doesn't slide off. And that'll give everybody a little bit more room. Josie says, oh, the scroll is a village with my own painted fabrics. Nice. She says, I'm a quilter, but love to hand stitch. I'm a beginner. We are all just making our way through at our own pace. And I think stitch is particularly forgiving on that, unless you're a perfectionist. And I think I've pretty much kicked my perfectionist to the curb. You do what feels right. You want to do a few French knots, you want to do some feather stitch, you want to do some circles. I'm trying to build lots of small components. Do I have anything still around here? I think I cleaned them all off like we did last week. Small sections of things that I can then add into the wildscapes, because I like building. I like having all the pieces, or most of the pieces, and building them. Okay, I've got a knot on the front. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. See that messy knot right there? That just tells me there's going to be a little bump. Barbara wants to know, Josie, do you have a YouTube channel, or are you in a Facebook group? Basically, we like to share the links and support each other in our creative journeys. Josie said, no perfection here, just enjoying the process. Awesome. I love to hear that. I will say that the people at Open Studios have definitely got me thinking again about teaching a class. So I am thinking about that. I think what appeals to people by the work that I do is the texture. So I'm thinking, some people want to do greeny things. Some people want to do coral reefs. Some people want to go abstract. So I'm thinking of a class that I would call Texturescapes. So you could work in whatever colors you wanted. If that's something that you might be interested in, make sure you are on my newsletter. You can go over to my website. The link should be in the description of this video, and sign up for the newsletter, because I will be probably taking a survey first. and then something I'll be working on for next year. In case anybody's lurking and wants to know, I am stitching with fingering weight yarn. This is wool, and I just love it because I can find it from independent dyers in such beautiful colors. And finger weight just feels really nice. I do double it. These are French knots that I'm stitching. They're very loose French knots. They're not all going to look the same. Some of them are going to be floppy. Some of them are going to be really wonky. Some of them will be tight. Some of them will be loose. But I think that gives the more of a natural look to anything. Yeah, I got what you meant, Josie. Sue said Texturescape sounds like a good title for the class. I think so too, because not everybody likes the greens. Some people want to work in different colors. And I'm thinking, each section would focus on a particular type of texture. Even though I've done some of the stitches on my YouTube channel, that's the hard thing. Sometimes you take a class from somebody and they've already showed some of the stuff on YouTube. So I would definitely have to, I don't know, that's the, I don't want to not do things on YouTube, but there's only so many ways I can do these things. So I'm not sure. Is her channel her name, Barb? Maybe if you just give us the name, tell me what it's called. Maybe I can grab it real quick. And then what I like about French knots is I can do just that. I can hide something that I used to think was a goof. And what happens instead is I get more texture. Sue said, so you're thinking in-person classes. Well, see, and that's the thing is there's people here in town that want to take, that say they want to take the class, but there's lots of people online that tell me too. So I'm thinking I would do it online, and I would do a Zoom component for people on, online, and I would do an in-person component for people here local, like an add-on. And then, of course, the classes, the online part would be evergreen. Hey, there's Big Mama Sandy. Let me see then. I'll see if I can get there that way. Probably not in this. Let me try. You have to look at the side of my head for a minute. There we go. I found it, I think. Yep, Quilting in Sicily. Oh, Sue, this might be a channel that you like. There you go. There's Josie's channel. Sandy, what's going on in your neck of the woods today? You're welcome. Quilting in Sicily. That's a great YouTube title, YouTube name. You are welcome, Barbara. Barbara is a fellow quilter. Sue is a quilter. We might have other quilters back there. I don't know. Just finished the journal, now starting the last of 3 commissions. Oh my goodness. Congratulations. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. You have come so far from not even having a channel, just posted your flip through. Okay. You guys can click through. Let's see. Let me do this here. Should be able to do this. There we go. There's Sandy's channel for you. You can go support her. Barb says, it's been 3 years now since I've made a quilt. I might be done except for small art pieces. Nothing wrong with that. Each journey points us in a new direction, or our bodies tell us that it's just too much, right? All right, I went through 4 needles in half an hour. That's not bad. Sandy says, you have been a huge part of my courageous endeavor to make videos. Well, I'm glad to spark you because you do a lot of good things for people. You inspire them, and your journals are beautiful. Anybody that ends up with one, I know, just falls in love. You did brag about using my Caesar Taylor brown paper. Well, I'm glad that you were able to give a lot of my old stuff homes. Sue says, I'm definitely slowing down making quilts. Yeah, it happens. Our bodies can only take so much. Quilt making is really rigorous. Joanne just subscribed to both channels. Yay. Barb says, I still possess 1 billion seed beads and pony beads and more. Oh, I am definitely looking at sequins. Can you believe it? I did not think, but I do think sequins would make some interesting fungi looking things on some wildscapes. I don't know, Barb, if you have green beads you want to get rid of, you might need to sell them to me. Well, not just green, I guess. If I'm thinking fungi, I saw, it was somebody posted, maybe it was Terry posted a beautiful thing, or maybe it was, I don't remember. Anyways, in the Facebook group, there was a post, a gal that did beautiful things with beads, like raised, like using bugle beads and sequins and then seed beads. You can send me sequins. I'll take some sequins. Foresty colors, things that you would find in the forest, because I think there might be some interesting accents, or near the water. Barb said, last time I made a quilt, I had to take all the blocks to the library and move a couple of those big tables together so I could work on the layout without being on the floor. Oh my. Sandy said, love you, Joanne. So much support for each other. That's what I love about this group. I don't care if we don't have 100 people in the chat. It's actually easier. We can actually all, catch up with one another. Greens and browns. I don't know, and things that might look like fungi. If you see the picture in the group, it's a recent post. It just really stimulated me. Oh my, Josie said, my sister owns a wedding gown store and I'm overloaded with lace and beads. Be still your heart, Joanne. I know how you would love to see that. Sandy says, I'll send them to you and then you can send them back. Yeah, whites for the white pieces, browns, greens, orange, yellow. Just no pink. All the colors, just no pink. You guys know. Barb says, Josie, what a nice problem. Sandy says, Josie, I'm officially jealous. Lace. Yes, all the lace that you can then grunge up, right? Joanne will take all the nice pristine lace and Sandy will take all the lace and grunge it up. Joanne said, some people live heaven on earth. Yeah, no pink, right? You're so surprised. I tried with the purple piece to add pink and it just, it didn't feel good. So I had to take it off. Sandy, I'll have to send you a picture of the one that was on Facebook, since I know you're not on Facebook, but I think you'll agree. It looks like something that we might see wandering in the forest. And I know there are pink flowers in the forest, but I don't plant. I mean, some of the stuff, I have pink flowers, but it's not that I didn't buy them because they're pink. I bought them because they're good for the pollinators and the birds. Everybody has a color that they can't embrace fully. I have fallen more in love with orange and yellow. Love my reds. Sandy, yes, she said, did I ever show you my pink 1964 Bel Air station wagon? Yep. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Maybe a dozen times. I don't mind. Sue said, I've been watching a gal in Australia who seems to love brown. Not my choice, but she loves it. Yeah, we're all drawn to certain colors and have other colors that just don't, if they don't inspire you a lot to pick something up and work on it, then it's not a color for you. Sometimes you can take that color and use it as an accent, and that gets it in. Barb says, I used to not like orange until I took a workshop and was a member of the Orange Tribe. See? Josie said, really, it's a problem. I would even give it away if postal charges weren't so much. Yeah, that's hard. Sandy said, I'm a color hound. I love them all. Sue agrees. Same here, she said. Joanne too. Yeah, I think it's a mood. I mean, except for me for the pink, but when I worked, Josie too says a lot of people like all of them. Pink is the only one I have a trouble with. Maybe not olive drab green. It's funny. I think of you every time I'm looking at clothes, I'm trying to build my green wardrobe to go along with the wildscapes. And it's always called, army green. That's the color I love best on me. But I think of you every time I see that. It's a pretty green, and I like olive green. I can do pink if it's like, 'cause I do have some pink clothes, but it's got to be like the bright jewel tones. When I was working on the different colored pieces, the yellow piece, the blue piece, the reds, I enjoyed it while I was working on it, but then I was anxious to get back to the greens. And I hadn't been doing a lot in greens because I was waiting to see what people thought about the wildscapes, at Open Studios. Sandy said, I still have my field jacket, but let the rest of my TA50 go away. Well, yeah, you're not in that season of life anymore. And I expect one of your grandkids wants that jacket. More water. So Sandy, are you working on a theme journal? And if so, what is the theme? 3 commissions. That's just amazing. I haven't even made a terrarium that I've shared with anybody yet, but one of the gals from Open Studios that bought a piece asked me to make a terrarium for her. But she wants it in a jar that she bought, and so I need to experiment with it as small as it is. We'll see. Michelle said, I like a bluish lilac color to wear. Have you ever had your colors done? I'm a spring. You know what? I had them done years ago when that was the thing, but I can't even remember what I was. I absolutely can't remember. I think I argued with the gal because I think she wanted me in pastels, and I do not, I don't like wearing pastels. I like solid, I don't want to say loud, but statement colors, jewel colors. Yeah. Sandy said, yes, the last journal I'm making, the gentleman, is a full-time Santa Claus in Arizona. So I'm calling this journal Santa Baby. Ah. My favorite jewel, Tom, of course, is a diamond, but I rarely wear them. Well, my favorite gem is emerald, even though my birthstone is a ruby. And I like the rubies, but I do like emeralds, but they're sensitive stones. It was my first engagement ring was an emerald, and the stone fell out and was lost. So it's been replaced with a diamond. I suppose our colors, spring, summer, whatever, winter, fall, change as we age. Our skin tone changes, our hair changes. Sandy, were all 3 commissions from a gentleman, and what were the other 2? Michelle said, Ruby is my favorite. Joanne loves the title. I lost a jade out of my first engagement ring, said Sue. Yeah, it's just, it was devastating. I was in a dressing room trying on clothes. That's what I remembered. Jewel tone, not Tom. Okay. I didn't put that one together. I'm here, but I'm evidently, we'll blame the voice. It's the smoker's voice, right? Even though I've never smoked. Sandy said, Joanne, I try to build my journals around this story. And you do. So are you finding Santa stuff that works for Santa in Arizona? Because there was always, when I was making digitals, there was always a request for Santa in, the other hemisphere. So if you have Santa stuff that works in Arizona, it might work for the other hemispheres. All 3 were from the same person. The first was a journal for the lady herself. Oh, and then for her 2 brothers. It's built around an old cookbook that has a lot of their childhood memories in it. Oh, that's wonderful. Michelle said, I thought a diamond was called a Tom. You never know, right? We come up with these weird nicknames too. It could happen. It could happen. I probably wouldn't even recognize half of the nicknames that the kids come up with things now. Don't keep up on the slang. Don't need to. Tom the Diamond, he's a turkey. Sandy, are you cooking Thanksgiving dinner? You gonna have everybody over? I know you love that holiday. The cookbook for a base is a wonderful idea. It is, because then everybody will have a piece of it, right? It's fabulous. She also, old cookbooks are so fun and the pics are great. Yeah, sometimes you look at some of the pictures of the food that, our parents or grandparents thought were, cutting edge or fabulous, and we can't even imagine eating some of it. Sandy said, yes, our son and family is coming from New York. Oh, marvelous. My son and his wife are hopefully coming the beginning of December for a visit. Would be nice. Don't know. Never know. Never know until you see their smiling faces. Sue said, I have a disintegrating crazy quilt I've been wanting to divvy up and embellish to share with my siblings. Oh, nice. Made by our great grandmother. I had got sitting here in the rocking chair. It's a log cabin quilt, and it was disintegrating. And I gave it to a quilting friend of mine, and she was able to put a backing on it and save it basically for me. Sandy said, Sue, I can imagine the project. That will be incredible. Joanne said, I used to crave Thanksgiving food in August, but since I'm on a keto diet now, I haven't had any cravings. Oh, wow. Yeah, your taste buds have changed, huh? Sue said, I just have to summon the courage to begin. Yeah, but that'll be what a heart project for you, filled with love. I have some fabric pieces from something that means a lot to my mother-in-law, and trying to decide. It's very, very thin, so it would have to be on top of something else. And I'm just thinking maybe a lap quilt. Sandy said, Sue, begin with the story. The project will evolve. I like that idea. Yeah, Sue says, I will have to cut into the quilt. That's the hard part. Yes. What is it? Every ending is a new beginning. So tonight, after I get back from running around this afternoon, my job is going to be making woven picot leaves. Lots and lots of leaves. One of those things, I hate doing the stitch, but I just love the way it looks in a project, so I have to have some. Josie said, I'm back, went to eat for a bit. Yeah, I'm looking forward to lunch after this. I'm hungry. And then I'm going to go work out, and I'm glad it's not raining like crazy. It just looks like it's cold and damp. Sandy said, exactly, breathe new life into the old quilt. Sandy wants to know, was it yummy? Sandy, you were here late, but Josie's in Italy. She is a quilter in Sicily. And if you page up in the, well, I don't know if you'd see it, but you can click through her name, I think, and go to her channel. Sue says, yes, I'm hanging on to that thought, Sandy. I don't have any handy, but it's needle weaving. And so you bring the stitch up. I can't really do it on here, but I can give you an idea. You bring the yarn up and you have a pin through the top, and then you bring it down and wrap it one more time, and then you're weaving. I don't have a video of it. I need to do one. I probably haven't done a video of it because it's not a stitch I feel super confident about. I always have to but I should do a video. The leaves are beautiful. I just find them a pain to do, and you can Google it. Lots of people have done videos on them. Michelle said, I made a chicken casserole this morning with lots of cheese. I'm full now. Yeah, lots of videos. There's tons of them, and it's a really nice addition. And and then it's I love it because they're upright. I wish I had some handy here. They come upright, so they look like a plant. So of course they're perfect for the wildscapes. And you can fake it with a double cast on, but it doesn't get that pointy end, which is what you get from the woven picot. Sandy said, I used to quilt, but when I went blind in my right eye, it made it impossible to thread the number 12 needle. Now I do paper. But, maybe it was time because people needed your journals. Sandy said, I had spaghetti for lunch and now I'm chatting with an Italian. How cool is that? Oh, you guys crack me up. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to starting to record videos again now that the construction won't be as loud. You had to get ready to do it, and then the nail gun or the air compressor. And there's a guy that wants to interview me, but he needs to do it during the daytime, and I couldn't guarantee it was going to be quiet. So I can set that up now too. You know, each day unfolds a little differently sometimes than we expect, and we just got to learn to roll with it. That's one thing about getting older. I do roll with the changes in the days a little bit better. Some days I'm close to meltdown, but then my husband's a good grounding rod for me. Yeah, Sandy says she loves art journaling too. Josie said, I was quilting 25 years ago, then got into mixed media, and now I'm back to quilting. Yeah, I think the worst of the construction, although there'll be a lot of saws with the deck and stuff. The painting, you know what? I'm looking forward to the painter. He won't be anywhere near as noisy. He won't need to use an air compressor. He won't need to use a saw. And of course, there's still stuff to do inside the house. There's still holes in the walls in the studio or in the living room and in my husband's office. Sandy said, I can see colors just fine. The tiny hole in a needle, not so much. Yeah. That's why I love my needle threaders. But then, of course, using yarn, I don't stitch really fine stuff. I would not make a good quilter. All right, this seems like a pretty good stopping point for me. I got a lot done. I got some texture forming, and let's see if I go this way. Can you guys see a little bit of the depth here? So it's a start, you know, we get this one filled up, do another one, and then I can start to build something. Yes, saws are loud. Had a new frame and door put on last year. Yep. Joanne says, time for me to say goodbye with my slow lag. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yep, and I'm done. I'm going to go have some lunch myself. Talking to you guys made me hungry. Oh, my goodness. Sandy said, people hired me to quilt their quilts. I could get 16 inches to an inch. It was good pay while it lasted. Wow. You're welcome, Michelle. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with me. I will see you next week. Have a creative time. Bye-bye for now.